We are live.
There we go.
Hi, guys. Hi, we'll take two. My tech ability is not good. Hi, guys. Welcome. Come in and join us. We have an interview here today with the wonderful Kylie Allen from Inspiring Minds Studio. Hi, Kyles.
Hello, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in, my dear. Kylie's a co-author of our book, Empowered Women Empowering the World, and Kylie and I work in similar fields in young children and helping children with the social and emotional learning. Kylie will get into that a little bit later. She can talk underwater about it. She's so passionate about her, helping children with social and emotional. But everything resilience. So, Kyles, let's start from the beginning. Let's run with your story because your chapter in the book is epic. It's really amazing and it's very focused on parenting and children. But let's start with you. I'm going to hand it over to you now.
Yep. So I am a primary school teacher and have taught for 12 years and then realized that I needed to do more, that, the work I was doing in school, we weren't doing enough on the social and emotional side for kids, and it wasn't fulfilling enough, really. I decided to go in and bawl my eyes out and tell my principal I wasn't coming back next year, and I opened up my own business and just jumped in the deep end. And we do classes for preschool kids and we focus on their social and emotional well-being, literacy, numeracy, art, science, and have a whole heap of fun doing it. So I've got an amazing team of teachers and, essentially we get to change the lives of kids every day, which is something that we are really grateful for. Love it.
So before, you didn't know you were going to be a teacher all the time, did you?
No. So I grew up and my dream was to work in the travel industry. I loved everything about geography and other cultures and just learning about other people. And when I finished year 12, I studied tourism, and that took me to America. I moved to America by myself when I was 19 and did an internship over there for a year and a half. And then after September 11, lost my job and had to come home. And finished uni, moved to London by myself. And I had a couple of friends and a cousin over there that I got to spend time with and travel with. And I was just loving life. I loved going to different places, meeting people, learning about new cultures and everything about it. That filled me with so much joy. And over in London, I started nannying actually. And that's where the love of children really came in. I grew up with my mum being a primary school teacher, and, I would correct her grade 6's maths tests on a, weekend and an afternoon, and my mum taught at my primary school, and after school in grade 4 and 5, I would go into her classroom and do her handwriting on the board ready for the next day. If that wasn't a sign, I don't know what is. But yeah, after being in London, I came back and then studied teaching and just loved it. I put all of myself into it, and I was a really good teacher. And then I had kids, and I had to sort of split myself then because I couldn't give all of myself to the kids in the classroom. I then had my own little people to have to give myself to. So, and it kind of changed the way I looked at teaching, because up until then, I didn't realize how vital the connection and the relationships were with kids. Like, I always had great relationships with my kids. I was lots of fun, and they felt very safe and secure with me. But becoming a mum, I mothered the kids a lot more and smothered them with love. I'm one of those people that doesn't matter who is in my class, I love them. And, that's a very important thing, I think, and it doesn't always happen. I realized that there wasn't enough happening in the social and emotional side, and I just thought, I'm going to go and do something to change this. So when Darcy, my eldest, went from kindergarten to school, I realized that the gap between school and kinder was huge, so much more than I thought. And, you know, if I was a teacher and seeing that gap, imagine what other parents that weren't in that profession, they would have no idea of what to do to help their child transition, and not just to be able to get from one to the other, because that's easy, but to thrive when they got on the other side and got into school and, you know, were confident and independent and self-assured and all of those other things that really help them be successful when they get to school.
Yeah, that's a good point. And so you as a teacher saw the gap and have nurtured your son through it, and then realized, gosh, there must be so many parents out there that, you know, that, and then the children sink at school, and then that's it for them from then on. We were saying before, they tag themselves. Then if a child goes to school and thinks and isn't armed with those tools that they need to be able to, well, really improvise, adapt, you know, really, what are the tools? They're tools that help. They're resilience tools, truly, aren't they?
They are, absolutely. You know, kids need to be able to make friends. That's a massive one. You know, if we don't actually teach them how to converse and what a good friend is and how to be a good friend, you know, one of the first things they have to do when they get to school is be able to make friends. You know, all those skills about taking turns and sharing and listening to others, but then also being able to do things for themselves and being independent. You know, the last thing that kids need is a parent that solves all of their problems and does everything for them, because it's not actually benefiting your child in the long run, because you're not going to be there at school to do it for you, to do it for them and rescue them all the time. So we need to build those skills into the kids so they can do it themselves.
Yeah, that's brilliant. You know, funny you should say that, because one of my top tips that I have with in a toolkit that I run through our program, and one of the main top tools is don't overparent, which is it's just so important, isn't it? Because a child needs to be able to learn to make how to make decisions.
Absolutely. And what better place to be able to learn that than with your support? You know, you don't want your children making their own decisions for the first time ever at school. They haven't got you to support them. So allow them to do that stuff at home in a and supported environment, so that they can build up and they can practice. And then by the time they get to school, they know how to do it and they can successful do it. That's a big thing too. And so, you know, part of the work that I do is we will sometimes do workshops for parents. You know, I've done a workshop before about helping your kids get ready for school. And, you know, talking about it now, it might be something else that I need to look at doing again. You know, and we do some resilience and self-love workshops for primary school kids as well. So my aim is to get the kids at the younger end, to equip them to succeed when they get to school. But I'm also very aware that there are children in primary school that still need this work, you know, and I know you know that too, Sal, with the work you do. There's not enough social and emotional learning happening in a lot of schools. You know, some schools do it great, but there's always room for more. And unfortunately, that often will come behind literacy and numeracy and data and assessment and all of those other things that sometimes become less about the kids. And, you know, I found that really hard to deal with as a teacher, that at the forefront of my mind were the kids and what I thought was best for them. But unfortunately, you know, schools do need to report and assess, and, you know, sometimes the balance isn't always there. And I just wanted to do what I could to, you know, create these confident and independent and self-assured kids.
And the reviews you're getting back, I've read them and I've listened to some of them, and they're phenomenal. The parents that are bringing their children to Inspiring Minds workshop, you're literally changing lives.
Yeah, we are. And, you know, that's an amazing feeling, because like I've had that many kids that the difference that we get to see in them in face-to-face classes is phenomenal. You know, I have kids that will not let go of their parents, and then 2-3 weeks later are walking head first into our room and not even looking back. And the parents just look at me like, what is going on? They can't believe it. And that's amazing. And, you know, since we sort of closed down because of COVID-19, the last 8 weeks, I have done an online program every single day for preschool kids. So, you know, while parents have had to help their older children with home learning, we've had a program running every morning to help support the preschoolers and make them feel connected and nurtured through this huge change that they've had to go through. And now, you know, as of this week, we are doing 2 days a week, and we've changed the time so we can essentially get kids all around Australia in remote areas, in other cities, and that aren't just in my local suburb, to join us, which is really exciting to think that, you know, we can help lots more kids and, you know, just make them feel amazing about themselves. Because the last thing I want is for kids to go to school not believing in themselves and not thinking that they're smart and that they're kind and clever and all of those things, because it's so important for their mindset and ability to succeed when they get there, really.
And it sets them up for the rest of their lives, doesn't it? You know, like the ripple effect just blows my mind. That's why I work where I work as well, is if you can like create a grounded, resilient, well-adjusted child, then they will grow up and parent their children like that. And then over and over, the ripple effect is what gets you up in every morning, isn't it? And that's
absolutely, you know, like when we shut down, like I could have easily just said, okay, I'm closing my doors and I'm going to stay at home and have sleep-ins for 8 weeks. And instead I've gotten up and I've dragged my kids to my studio every morning, and I have jumped on live with 50 kids and, you know, been able to support them and their family. And the feedback that I've had is just been amazing. You know, I've got so many parents that are messaging me to say how grateful they are that, you know, we've done what we've done during this time, which is awesome. You know, and just to make myself feel like, yep, I'm on the right track.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's not always roses, and, you know, there's lots of up and downs like any person, any business. And but yeah, having that positive feedback to know that I am making a difference is pretty amazing. So
it makes it all worth it, doesn't it? You're a strong, independent woman with a kind heart. That's clearly obvious speaking to you for 5 minutes. Embraced your uniqueness and built a business with real community focus. Inspired Mind Studio, which is committed to focusing on mental health, confidence, social and emotional learning of kids. But in order to do that, you definitely stepped outside of your comfort zone when a lot of people told you you're stupid, and left your full-time, full-paying job to start a business. Like, that's one empowered woman now, isn't it?
Yes. One crazy, maybe. I don't know. You know, there's a lot of words for it. But you know what? At the end of the day, I believed in myself, and I believed that what I was doing was worthwhile. And it's just something that I felt really drawn to do. I've always loved teaching and I love kids, but I did know that it wasn't my forever job. There was something more out there, and I wasn't sure what that was or, you know, what it looked like, but I just knew that there was something. And then, you know, when I had the idea about Inspiring Mind Studio, I just thought, you know what, I've just got to do it. You know, life's too short to think what if. And, you know, maybe I could have kept my job and done it as a little side hustle, but that's not me. If I'm in, I'm all in. And that's exactly what I did. So, you know, I've had lots of challenges, lots of things that have tried to get me down and break me. And each time I just overcome it. And it's not easy and it takes a lot of work. But at the end of the day, I always think about the kids that I'm working with and the impact it would have on them if I didn't do what I did. I gave up. That's not fair for the kids that would benefit from what we do.
You take your eyes off yourself and you put it on those people, those families, those children, those parents, those people that you are providing with a magnificent service, life-changing service, And then you can overcome, you can draw on your own inner resilience and overcome just about anything, which you have.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And that's it, because it's not about me. I don't do this business for me. I do it because I love it, but I do it for them. I do it for kids. I do it for my kids. I do it for my children to see that no matter what, if they work hard, they can achieve anything, and set an example for them. Yeah, even co-authoring this book, it's been amazing. Like, never in a million years would I have, thought I'd be sitting here promoting a book that I have co-authored, which is awesome.
It's amazing.
It's just one of those things, like, I can talk to my kids about it, and then, again, it's a legacy you can leave behind. And, and if I can help other women who, are in a similar situation, that have got young kids and thinking, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, or they feel stuck. I hope my part in the book can inspire and empower them to, follow their dreams and back themselves. That's a big one.
It certainly is. I was just about to say, I'm going to read this other excerpt of your book as well. It took a long time and a lot of work to change my limiting beliefs and realize that I have the ability to make a huge impact. And that this is something that is in all of us if we allow it to be. Back yourself, because if you don't, nobody else will.
Yeah.
That is amazing. I've actually got that written up there. I'm going to use it as a quote because it's amazing. Back yourself, because if you don't, nobody else will. I think that there, in the essence, is the actual essence of this entire book, isn't it? Empowered women empowering the world, making a difference in your own lives, in your communities, and globally.
Yep. And you know what? Like, just personally with me, with my business, there have been people who have doubted it and said, why don't you just go back to teaching? Why don't you go normal job? Because
I'm so good at teaching. It's steady money. You were so good at teaching. That's, in the passive aggressiveness of Australian, culture. Yeah.
And, I love teaching and I'm good at it, but it wasn't enough. But it's funny, all of the challenges that I've faced, not once have I ever sat there and thought, oh, I should just go back to teaching. Not once. When I get kicked and I get back up, it just does not cross my mind that I would stop doing what I'm doing, because it's needed, I believe. And I love it. And it comes across. The kids know that they're safe with us, that they're nurtured, and I'm so grateful. Families trust us with their most prized possessions, their children. It's not easy to let your child go off with somebody else unless you trust them or believe in what they're doing. And I've got the most amazing families and parents who believe in our vision and see what we can do with their kids. And, the changes that happen to these little people is phenomenal. And the feedback we get is amazing. And that's what keeps us going and pushing through any of the challenges that come our way, including this one that we're just, coming out of.
COVID-19. There are so many disempowered people, not even women, disempowered people right now. So many people feeling completely disempowered as a result of COVID. And for them to read our book and to realise that this is just ordinary people. We are nothing special, but every single woman within this book has overcome and made a difference in their own lives and in the lives around them. And Kylie, you most definitely have. What you are doing now is clearly changing lives, and it is all-time inspiring, really. Well, inspiring minds. It's the most magnificent. You're so congruent with what you do. It's the most magnificent name, Inspiring Minds. You are changing lives. You are changing families' lives. And the ripple effect blows my mind.
Yeah, thank you. It's exciting. And you know what? It's not just me. I have an amazing team of teachers that work with me. We're all mums, so we all get it. We're all primary school teachers. We're all mums. So we've all got our own kids at home. So we know the challenges that everyone else is facing, because we're facing them at home with our own kids as well.
Yeah.
The kids that come in are loved and nurtured, and, you know, we just try and do everything that we can to promote that confidence in them and make them succeed in the littlest way possible, because all of those little things build up and, you know, just makes such a difference to a child and their learning. And, you know, that's what we want. We want them to go off to school and fly. We don't want them to get to school and just be, you know, like a duck with their feet trying to stay afloat. We want them to get there and thrive, really. You know, hence that's the name of one of our classes, Thriving Minds.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely am now doing what I was meant to be doing.
Put on this earth to do. It's an amazing feeling. Thank you so much, Kylie. That was a magnificent interview. What you are doing and your team are doing is truly phenomenal. And I really feel privileged to be a co-author of this book with you.
Me too. I just wish we lived closer together and we could like and do some amazing stuff. Maybe.
Well, with the use of the internet, maybe we can. Thanks so much. I'm going to put a link in below so you guys can, you know, touch base with Kylie and Inspiring Minds. Now she's running stuff online. It's geographically able. And thank you so much for coming in today. You're an absolute gem.
Thank you.
Okay.